right, so as you can see from the garden, it is definitely fall. There's a lot that has kind of died and gone away. Like some of it we have just weeds that are kind of growing around in different spots that we've let grow up but have now died back. And we have a lot of our plants that we will be bringing in because it's about to get cold. So I'll talk through that as we walk along. Come on. We do have a little bit of a late bloom of some toothache plants here. So I will be harvesting those, and what we have left of our holy basil. So we have a few things like our wormwood and our mugwort that we'd like to get harvested before we have our first frost. I'll dry them and store them away to use throughout the winter. But today I'm going to focus really on the hibiscus because it does not like cold weather at all. So, oh yeah, do want to point out, a lot of people get confused by the differences between Roselle hibiscus and hibiscus that we all grow like as a flower in our garden. That hibiscus variety can also be used, the flowers can be used as a tea, but today we're really talking about the Roselle hibiscus, or Hibiscus subdurifa, it's the Latin name. This particular hibiscus is what most people know for that red, like Jamaican sorrel drink and any other Jamaican hibiscus teas. And so this is what we're harvesting today. Woo, look at there. Looks like we have collard greens growing right here. I'm just gonna let them grow up. Some more collards, and down here somewhere we have some kale growing. That's usually what we have in our fall garden, but today we're focusing on these pretty plants. I actually really like the leaves. They're quite tasty, and you can add any size leaf. The small ones make really great additives to your salads. They have a little bit of a tangy, sour taste, but it's really tasty. I mean, I can really eat this all day. Not really sure if I should, but I really like the taste of it. But today we are harvesting, you can see right here, I have one that I've let grow pretty large here. I plan on harvesting the seeds from these. I'm running a little low on our hibiscus plants, and we grow a lot of them each year. This year I put out 10, and I think we had about 8 to survive. And so I want to make sure I keep doing that ratio next year because we've had a very abundant harvest from this plant since it popped up. We actually planted these late. First half of the year, we really didn't have time to pay much attention, unfortunately, to our garden due to work. And the garden is my escape from work and work stress usually. And, you know, it's just one of those ways that I find kind of comfort in nature. But this year was a different year. I had a lot of work. I couldn't take off work, PTO, things of that nature. So I actually didn't get started on the garden until much later in the season. So I'm very grateful that we had such a great harvest. And this is actually one of our smaller plants. If you come with us, we're going to walk around one of our other plants. We'll come back and finish harvesting these in just a minute. Let's walk to another plant. Other thing we have to do, just as we see it while we're walking past it, these are our goldenrods that of course have kind of gone through their season already. We've harvested some of the seeds from these already, and we have some more that are still viable that I plan to harvest before this first frost. So that's more work that we have to do. Lots of seeds right now that we have to harvest. All right. I'm gonna walk over here to 2 of the 7 that made it. You see, they got so heavy that they actually leaned over, and these are just 2 hibiscus trees, and they are just full of these calyxes. You see the calyxes all over here. Look at that. Man, that's a nice one. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do as it relates to harvesting these. And again, I wanted them to get a little bit larger. Usually, if you happen to get some seeds and want to grow these yourself, they are very easy. We are in zone 8A. We were just recently adjusted from 7B in the area that we're in. It's a tri-state area, West Tennessee, Arkansas, North Mississippi, that sort of area, here in a suburb just outside of one of the major cities in the area. So just giving you an idea about where we're located in the US, but we were zoned recently to 8A, had been previously 7B. So if you're thinking about growing hibiscus, usually what I do is I plant these, starting indoors. That way it gives that great opportunity for it to already have some height before the first frost is, or last frost is over. And so then I tend to wait until the temperatures are around 60 averaging, because it really likes warm temperatures, before I put them outside. So I usually grow them from seed, although I didn't do that this year necessarily, but grow them from seed somewhere around Valentine's Day till they get to about this height before I put them outside. You can actually plant them directly in the ground, like I did these as well, and they will grow up. To me, I've just noticed that my plants get a lot larger if I start them out maybe in a little greenhouse or indoors first. So just a little tip for you on that if you're wanting to grow this wonderful plant, and I absolutely love it. Again, going back over, the leaves are edible. This calyx here, if you can see that, that's actually what we use for our tea and the sorrel drink. You'll watch me, I'll post a video where I'm actually processing this to dry or dehydrate. So just more to come on that. And then the leaves, of course, and the flowers. So I mentioned before that most other varieties of hibiscus, the flower is what you use for tea. You can also use the flower for tea here, but there is great medicine in the calyx of this plant. It's actually good at reducing or lowering your blood pressure, and also has vitamin C. It's good for its immune boosting as well. I actually really love the taste of this one. You can add a little sweetener to it and have something almost like a hot or cold Kool-Aid drink. I personally like to drink it without any sweetener in it, or if I do add a little sweetener, I'll add just a tad bit of honey. I just really like the tangy flavor of it. It's pretty delicious. So we're using these seeds though, in this one, because it's so mature, I'm gonna actually harvest the seeds and dry those out so that I'll have plenty to plant next year. And again, I usually like to start around Valentine's Day, do the seed start in there, let the plants get up a little high. And here in zone 8A, we usually go from winter, we may have a week or two of spring straight into summer. So our temperatures tend to warm up pretty quickly after that last frost. So around May here is probably end of April, mid-April, May will probably be about when I have these little small plants put out to start growing. This plant loves full sun. You probably can't tell it right now. Of course, we're right in the middle of the fall, and the sun is over on the southwest behind us at this time of day. But this plant loves full sun. So you guys saw the first plant we were at, and it has produced some really, really great harvest here for us as well. But these two grew up pretty rapidly because they get the most direct sun for the longest amount of time. I usually just leave this plant alone. It's really pretty self-sufficient. I'll water it when I'm watering the full garden and everything. But one thing I've done is I have heavily mulched here. We've made sure that we just put it in a location where it's getting at least 10 hours of sun is what this area gets per day. It gets between 8 and 10 for sure. And then after that, I just pretty much make sure it's mulched. And if it's starting to look like it's needing a little water, I'll water it. but it's very drought tolerant. This summer when it was super hot, and I could see from the other plants that they were really needing some water and really kind of hurting. There was a lot of stress on the plant, leaves yellowing and things of that nature, showing signs of stress. These guys were happy. So they, you know, they appear to be pretty drought resistant. So, and they do love the warm climate. So direct sun is great. If you can find a spot with 8 to 10 hours of sun, this will be the best place to grow this one. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna last us well beyond the winter. I think I'm gonna harvest some of these leaves too. Maybe we can make a salad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I dropped some. Yeah, I always feel like I let the leaves go to waste because, you know, the minute the frost hits, this plant just shroom. I did attempt in experimenting one time to see if I could grow the plant year-round in a container. As I've read that you can bring in the plant, keep it alive, grow it in a container. I thought that I read that it would go dormant, and so I had it in the garage, and I don't know, it could have been me forgetting that it was in the garage and not giving it proper care, or thinking that it goes dormant. Either way, I forgot about it. I didn't water it. It died. So had a little casualty there, but I do plan on trying that again. If anybody knows if you could actually grow these indoors, or if you've tried to keep one alive, like maybe in a greenhouse or something like that, drop it in the chat. I'd love to hear about it. All right. We have a lot of picking to do, so we'll pick those, and we won't bore you guys with all the details.